Hi, Barbara White here. I wanted to share with you a few thoughts about how to hear the voice of God, how to hear God speaking to you personally. Now, I know for myself, for many years, I didn't understand how to hear God and I didn't know what that looked like. I was born in a Christian home. I was brought up in the church, but nobody ever taught me how to recognize God is speaking to me. And it's only in recent years that I've begun to understand and recognize when God is speaking to me and how to hear his voice. And so I want to share a couple of thoughts with you about that. One of the main ways that God does speak to us, apart from when we're reading in the Bible, is through our mind. Now, I can imagine you thinking, okay, well, I'm thinking all the time. How do I know that I'm hearing God? There are three main kinds of thoughts that usually are in your head. They're certainly in mine. First of all, there's your own thoughts. Your own thoughts tend to be analytical. They tend to be trying to work things out, trying to find a solution, thinking around things, worrying, those kind of thoughts. They come from your own mind as you trying to make sense of life and make sense of the things that are going on in your day and find solutions when you need to find solutions. They are your thoughts because they are focused and generated about the things that you are doing and thinking about or are concerning you. Another kind of thought that often comes into our heads are negative thoughts. These are thoughts that make us feel inadequate, they make us feel insecure, they make us feel unsettled, they try to discourage us, they tell us that we're no good. These thoughts are also not from God. These thoughts tend to be planted by a demon or the enemy. They have the ability to put thoughts in our minds, and they are usually negative because the main goal that Satan has for people who believe in Jesus is to steal, kill, and destroy the life they have and the relationship that they have with God. And so they do that using negativity and negative thoughts and bring the emotions to go along with them. The third way that the thoughts that we have the way that we need to look for those thoughts that and know that they're from God are thoughts that are positive, thoughts that are encouraging, thoughts that speak truth, that align with God's word. And these thoughts tend to come spontaneously, not even when we're thinking about something. Now, the way that I like to hear God and works really well for me, I want to share the how, because that all my life I've been asking, well, how does this work? How does this work? Well, this is a way that works for me, and maybe it will work for you. So let's say that there's a certain situation or circumstance that I want to hear God speak to me about. So I'll find a quiet space. I'll set aside a little bit of quiet time and I'll sit down. And the first thing I'll do is to try and center myself and still my mind. Maybe I'll put on some worship music because that really helps me to get connected to God and to sense his presence when I have that worship music on. And I don't always use that. You need to find the best way for you. So quieten yourself down and fix your eyes on Jesus in a way that's meaningful for you. You might want to just picture him there beside you. You might want to just get a sense of his presence with you. And then ask him the question that you'd like to hear him speak to you about. And wait. It may take a few moments, but as you wait and you keep your mind still, you will find that a thought just spontaneously pops into your mind. And think about that thought. Ask God to talk to him about that thought. Well, if that is what you're saying, how would that work? And just spend that time listening. Sometimes I find it useful just to write down the words that I hear, and as I write them down, more comes. You have to find your own way, but he will speak to you that way. And usually after you've asked the question and you've waited, it's the first thought that comes into your head that's from him. So how do you know it's from him? One thing is that you feel peace about what you heard. You have a sense that he is actually speaking to you. And whatever it is that you heard, it needs to line up with what God says in his word. And now, if you're asking a question that is very directional, for example, I'm sensing that I need to quit my job, or I need to change careers, or I'm sensing that I need to move, those kind of questions, you don't want to just rely on hearing once. You want to make a note of what you hear and then ask God to confirm it. He might confirm it in his word. He might confirm it when you're talking with somebody, but you want several confirmations for a directional word. And also it takes a little bit of practice. So I encourage you to start being intentional about hearing God's voice. God bless you.